What's up, Raider Nation? I'm here to tell you how the Raiders are going to win the division. Yes, I am a die-hard Raiders fan. Alright, first things first. Let's start by week 1. Got the Raiders and the Broncos. Raiders will win the Broncos. Better offense. Our defense will be able to keep up. Week 2. I know a lot of you don't want to believe this, but we will beat the Chiefs. No Tyreek Hill, no Kareem Hunt, just Sammy Watkins, Mahomes, and Kelsey. Remember, we got Antonio Brown, got a good running back, got all good players now, no holes. Alright, but week 3, I'll go ahead and give the Vikings the win. Week 4, I'll go ahead and give the Colts the win. Week 5, a lot of you might think the Bears might win. Remember, this is going to be in London. Bears don't have a very good offense. They don't have good receivers. Alright? They don't even have a running back anymore. They drafted one. They're not going to be that good. Their defense is good, but Antonio Brown is better. Gruden's better. Carr's better. Alright, then we have a bye week, week 6. So week 7, I'll go ahead and give the Packers the win. Week 8, we are a better team than the Texans. They don't have a good offensive line. Sure, they have Hopkins. Conley will be able to keep up along with our safeties. Our offense is just way better. Alright. Week 9, we will beat the Lions. Remember, what receivers do they got? What offense do they got? Who's their running back? We will win. Alright, week 10, we always beat the Chargers at home. Guarantee that. Week 11, we'll beat the Bengals. Bengals aren't a very good team. Alright, week 12, the Jets. Remember, they got Darnold. Sure, Le'Veon Bell might be good. Who are their receivers? Their defense isn't even that great. We are going to win week 12. Alright, but just because it's an Arrowhead, I'll say we're going to lose week 13. Titans aren't a very good team. We're winning week 14. Jaguars, sure, Nick Foles might be alright. Leonard Fournette's pretty good. The receivers are average. We're winning that game, I'm telling you. Week 16, Chargers. Let's go ahead and give them that dub in their hometown, even though it's going to be our fans there. Week 17, you know we're going to clutch that against the Broncos. That's going to go ahead and make us 11-5. You want me to show you how the Chiefs and the Chargers are not going to win the division? Let's start off with the Chiefs, okay? I know a lot of you are going to think they're going to do really good, but they're really not. They actually are going to lose to that Jaguars defense without good receivers, without a good running back. Remember, they're going to lose to us. I put Chiefs here, but I actually think that Ravens defense is going to stop them too. They're going to be 0-3. They will beat the Lions, most likely, but they are going to lose to the Colts. So, can you believe it? They're going to be 1-4. Let's go ahead and give them the win against the Texans. But in Denver, they're losing. That makes them 2-5. They're going to lose to Aaron Rodgers. They're going to lose to the Vikings. But let's say they beat the Titans, 3-7. They're going to lose to the Chargers in Los Angeles. They're going to beat us, like I said. They're going to lose to the Patriots. We'll go ahead and say they're going to beat the Broncos in Arrowhead, but they will lose to the Bears. And then let's go ahead and say they'll beat the Chargers in their home. That only makes them 6-10. 6-10. You heard right. Chiefs, 6-10. Mark my words. Now let's go to the final one. Chargers. You're going to be very surprised because they're going to start off hot, but trust me, they're not going to finish hot. Chargers versus Colts. Most likely the Colts will win that, but I went ahead and give them the win anyways. They're going to beat the Lions. They're going to beat the Texans. Beat the Dolphins. Let's go even say they beat the Broncos. They're probably going to lose to the Steelers, but I'm going to go ahead and say they're going to go 6-0, but they could easily be 4-2. Beat the Titans. This is where it's going to get bad for them. They're going to lose to the Bears. Alright? I can't even believe I put a win against the Packers. That could be another loss right there. They're going to lose to us. They're going to beat the Chiefs, lose to the Broncos in Denver, lose to the Jaguars. They're going to lose to the Vikings. They'll beat us week 16. And then they're going to lose right here to the Chiefs in Arrowhead. That gives them what? 6-10. Remember, there's 3 more losses they could have had. They can go from 7-9 to 10-6. 10-6 is not going to beat our 11-5. All right. Just saying. Broncos, we don't even need to talk about the Broncos, but let's see. They're going to go 6-10 as well. Except they're not going to start off so hot. They're going to lose to us, lose to the Bears, lose to the Packers. Damn, that's tough. Somehow they're going to beat the Jaguars, lose to the Chargers, somehow beat the Titans, somehow beat the Chiefs, lose to the Colts, somehow beat the Browns. So these are all games they're probably not even going to win. Lose to the Vikings. They're going to beat the Bills, beat the Chargers, somehow. Lose to the Texans, lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Lions, lose to us in the last week. I'm telling you guys, I know you don't think that rebuild can happen in 1 year, but it will. These Raiders are going to win the division. Our closest competition is the Chargers. But the Chargers, you got to remember, they got Keenan Allen, and then what else? Their offensive line is not as good as ours. Sure, they got a good defense if they stay healthy, which they never really do. Alright? If you got any questions, leave a comment. If you got any objections, any rebuttals, I will argue any stats. Offense, defense, matchups, player versus player, coach versus coach. I'm not just trying to be biased here. Every year that we didn't have a winning record, I called it. Every year that we had a winning record or had a shot to, like in 2008 before McFadden got injured, or 2016 before Carr got injured, we were going to beat the Texans in the playoffs. We were going to beat the Broncos week 17 if Carr was healthy. You got to understand, Carr is not a bad quarterback. He had a back injury that he came 2 games later. It's not going to happen. He played through injury. Last year we had 51 or 52 sacks. You got to remember, 3 or 4 of our offensive line were out. We were playing backups, just getting sacked. How many touchdowns or throws are you going to throw if you're getting sacked almost every play? You got to remember Carr, he was the best deep accuracy passer last year. The best. 2016, he was the best that year too. 2017, not so much. He had a really bad offensive coordinator who was just a QB coach who they tried out. You got to realize these changes are hard for any quarterback, any offense. This is the first time Carr's had the same offensive coordinator since 2016 when we went to the playoffs. Now we got the same quarterback, same coach. This is on a whole new level. Carr's never had a receiver like Antonio Brown. We've never had a young running back like Josh Jacobs. Unless you want to count free agents or 4th round picks, stuff like that. Like DeAndre Washington, who's alright. Or Jalen Richard, who he's more of a receiving back. Those guys are good, but those guys are not big backs, not power backs. Lynch did really good for us last year. I'm telling you, our time is here and our time is now. Anyways, like my posts, comment. I don't care about YouTube money. I'm just here to talk football, and I'm a Raiders fan. Raider Nation.